I was torn between either being a teacher or being a lawyer. And I worked for an educational nonprofit that monitored desegregation in the Boston public schools, and while I was deciding after college. And the lawyers who were involved in the Boston desegregation case blew my mind with their dedication, their intelligence, their creativity, and their desire for social change. So that's what actually got me to law school instead of getting a master's degree in education. But I get to teach at Columbia, so as far as I'm concerned, I have the best of all possible worlds. I think it's more mental than anything else, but that you don't have to be so hard on yourself. I tend to drive myself in terms of work and what I want to accomplish and goal setting, and sometimes you just need to let yourself blossom at your own pace. And I think just don't be so hard on yourself. It's going to be okay. Now I will make sure that I get to a yoga class a couple of times a week. When I feel like I need to sleep in, I'll call the office and tell them, I'll be in later today, I need some time at home. I would have never done that as a young lawyer, and it isn't until I became more established in my practice that I felt like I could do that. But it's so important, because if you're not good for yourself or at your best, you can't be good for clients, and you certainly can't be good for the people you work for. I tell the attorneys that I work with, particularly if they're younger than me or haven't been practicing as long, this is a marathon and not a sprint. You have to pace yourself, you have to organize yourself, you have to see the road ahead. I think it's very important not to burn out, not to get to the point. I mean, the legal profession is a very demanding profession. It demands a lot of our time, it demands a lot of our intellectual abilities, it demands a lot of our emotional abilities. You have to practice some self-care, you have to pace yourself. It's important that you be in it for the long run. So it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. My favorite sports team or athlete, well, I would have to say the New York Mets, because they're a wonderful organization, they're a local hero, and most importantly, I feel like, I always love an underdog, and maybe that will change this year, but in New York, they've perpetually sort of had underdog status, but not for long.